Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newbold and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 57 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim, the Deutschland Dangler Van Stratton. With me is Rodney Newbold from his well-lit alley on a Wednesday night. Apologies for not being on yesterday. I don't even know if we announced that we didn't have a show on Tuesday night. We decided to do it Wednesday night, but we're here. We know what it was. And thanks for joining us, everyone, and Rodney. It's because we really wanted to just break down the Bulls Heat game the second it ended to give you a live analysis of a game that really should never happen.
Should never happen. And yes, welcome everyone. And I feel like we're back. Like it's been a while, Tim, because so you were sick last week, so we missed the show. And then the abbreviated version was kind of, let's just get it in. It was just kind of getting our reps in, really, more than anything. It was like a spring training action.
Fighting through that one, like 35 minutes of torture. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I feel like we're back, like we're all the way back. Episode 57 is the real deal. There's lots to talk about. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, full swing. Masters is over, and I know you have some thoughts there. Lots of stuff going on, and if you dummies have stuff, join the comment section. I'm gonna man the comment section tonight, and if you get something that's worthwhile, basically anything that doesn't swear, then we'll put it on the air. And even if you do swear, I might put it on the air. We've pretty much decided that we have no rules, so there you go.
I mean, it's 9 p.m. We are not on any network.
Nope.
I don't know what Gateway Sports' policy is about vulgarity, profanity, crude humor. I don't know. Well, let's find out, I guess. So yeah, that's a really fun and dangerous game that you are playing. It's like, hey, send us the worst possible thing that might be good enough for Rodney to share and put up on the screen. I'm just curious, like, what your limit is, because I feel like in the radio days, like, you would just read any text that came through, and you would like start reading it without actually finishing it, and so it could have like said some really bad stuff at the end. I'm curious if you still do the same thing here on a podcast.
I mean, yeah, you take it and you read it, and there it is. We'll see what happens, but use the comment section. We'll be here next hour or so, and lots to talk about tonight. So welcome back.
All right. Well, I'd like to make a declaration on the front end here. I'm doing a little bit better. I'm still sucking on cough drops. Man, stuff like this sickness thing. Don't recommend it. It's not great. But we're gonna have a full show today. We got lots to get to, and we're gonna start with golf.
So hold on. Yeah. You haven't had. You're not. Yours is a cold. Yours is not the flu, right?
I would assume so. I think it's a cold. I hope it's cold.
Right. So the flu went in my house. The whole knocked you out. Yeah. You can't really do much of anything type thing. So I guess I was just trying to determine which one it was. So yeah, yours is the cold. The flu hit here. It did not get me yet, but I'm hoping. I'm knocking on all the wood and hoping. But yeah, 60% of my household got the flu for at least 24 hours. Not fun.
I feel like you never get sick.
I have a pretty decent immune system at the age of 42 and have throughout my career. I hope that continues. I hope my health stays with me for a lot longer. But I do avoid getting it quite often. I think it's the Mountain Dew.
I think so too. It's the Mountain Dew. It's the Casey's breakfast pizzas. Yeah, it's you have the secret, man. You figure I got to get on the regimen. I get sick about like once a year. It sucks though. I feel like it lasts forever. But all right, enough about germs. Let's talk Rory. You saw what, 3 holes on Sunday?
Not much. Not a lot. I saw the playoff. I saw 18. Yeah. Going back about 16 seconds. So about 3 or 4 holes. Had the scores up on my phone, and of course was kind of following the text thread a little bit because I was flirting with a pretty decent team for a while on my DraftKings. If Bryson would have stayed at the top and Rory would have been contending, and actually had Zach Johnson, who had moved to the top 5 at one point. Bubba Watson got in the top 10. So I had a team that was like 7th in the Win 100K contest. It did not get 7th. Did cash money, but yeah. So I was following that purpose, but not seeing all the shots.
But I mean, that's really what you care about. Like, you're not a huge golf guy, but you love putting together a lineup and just want to sweat on Sunday. And you had a sweat. You absolutely did. You had Rory, you had DeChambeau, you had Zach Johnson. Like, that was a lineup that was really, really good. And the potential to have 3 of the top 5 finishers and a couple other really good finishers. But yeah, DeChambeau just taking a dump on Sunday didn't really help.
No, it didn't, and obviously, so he was lower owned than Rory. So I was kind of pulling for Bryson, and for that purpose, if those guys would have finished 1-2, yes, I probably would have been a top 10 finish, but not to be.
That's all right. That's all right. I think we could safely say, though, at least I can, that through about 3.5 months of 2025, the Masters has been the number one sporting event in terms of just the excitement, the storylines, the result. I think it outdid anything that we saw from the NCAA tournament. I think it outdid what we saw in the college football playoff. I think it was better, certainly Super Bowl, but like anything in the NFL playoffs too. Unless there's something that I am so obviously missing since we hit New Year's and 2025 began, I feel like the Masters is currently number one, and that this was the sporting event of the year. And I know that you only saw a few holes, but just a large overview, just considering just like what transpired on Sunday, how it ended, who ended up winning with Rory McIlroy completing the Grand Slam, 6th golfer ever to have the career Grand Slam. Like, that to me, it takes the cake, and I don't think that there was anything that's close.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you. And I'll go as far as saying we had a good couple weeks because the NCAA Final Four and the final game were good. The Masters was better. But getting back to Masters, yeah, I mean, Rory completing that Grand Slam, the roller coaster Rory, the up and down of Rory, like, is he going to pull the choke off or is he going to come back? And, Justin Rose being that guy there, second, kind of made it kind of fun too, because you've got two older guys. I'm not against the younger guys competing and winning. I really am not. But two kind of, I don't know if I call them good guys. They are good guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Rory for whatever reason. But two of the veterans that have kept their nose clean, for the most part, and go out and golf and, have been good for the game. Both those guys have been good for the game, and they were there in the end. And, you feel a little bit bad for Justin Rose because this is the second time he's finished runner-up and hasn't won. And, he's 44 years old. So, like, for him to have that chance to win one, they're narrow. They're dwindling every year. But he did golf really well. I almost took him after round 1. We talked about this because he was, 9-1. I did not pull the trigger. And, so – yeah, a good weekend for Justin Rose as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was the leader after Thursday. He was the leader after Friday. Saturday had a little bit of a rough day, and then Sunday had an amazing day again. Shot a 66, and was there in the playoff. Like, yeah, it was great to see that. You do feel like this was probably the opportunity that he had if he was going to win a Masters. And yeah, like you mentioned, not only second time that he's been a runner-up, second time that he's been a runner-up and lost at a playoff. It was 2017. The last time that we had a playoff at Augusta, it was Justin Rose losing to Sergio Garcia.
Yeah.
Like, that's a killer.
And he didn't play a bad 19th hole. Obviously, yeah, he had an opportunity for the birdie putt. Not certainly not an easy one. But did a nice job on the 18th hole again. Just Rory put that second shot so close that he was like he's not gonna miss. He was not gonna miss that putt. And yeah, it was fun, and to see the emotions of Rory was fun as well.
And speaking of emotions, so I have a confession to make. You all, everyone listening, and you, Rodney, might view me as someone who is with a tough exterior, who doesn't let his emotions get the best of him. But when Rory started to break down, my eyes got a little watery. I did not expect it to happen. I was not bawling. Okay, I was not bawling, but I did start to get a little watery. I did sort of share in the relief that he felt in that moment, where it seemed like it was a million-pound gorilla that just went off his back,
Yeah.
that clearly he's been carrying and he's been holding on to for over a decade now. And I kind of shared that emotion a little bit, and I was like, this is actually making me feel things here. So I'm curious, if ever, because I know you're not someone who seems like really, really emotes too much for sports. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's at least to me. Uh, when is the last time, if ever, that anything in sports has actually made you get a little teary?
Probably dating back to, honestly, I think it was the 2019 Blues when they won their first cup.
Yeah,
Just because, I've been a long-standing fan. It's been a lot of, I was 30, late 30s at that point. Hadn't seen one. Uh, just seeing the emotion of those guys, I think that would probably be it. Honestly, though, like my number one memory of sports making me cry would have been back to, and then this is kind of crazy because this is episode 57, was when Daryl Kyle passed away, to be honest with you. I love
yeah,
Daryl Kyle as a Cardinal, and like to find out that he passed away in a Chicago hotel hit me hard, right? Like I was quite a bit younger at that point, but still enough to be an adult. And so those two memories, one obviously on the happy side, and the other one being on the very, very,
yeah,
very sad side. So, 2019 Blues would probably be the right answer here. Daryl Kyle,
yeah,
shoot, that was 20 years ago, so that's been a while.
yeah. Was that 2001,
I
2002?
feel like
Daryl Kyle?
I feel like it was early part of my college. Yeah, it was 2000, 2001. It was 20 plus
Yeah.
years ago. But
Wow.
that memory really strikes me. I remember exactly, when I heard, how I heard, and things like that. It's just some moments like that you just sticks with you forever, and that's one.
That's kind of along the same lines with Daryl Kyle, but like I vividly remember when Jose Fernandez died, like
Mhm.
where I was. I happened to be in Chicago, like at a hotel, and heard about that. And like I didn't I didn't cry, but that was something that was extremely like jarring. And I really just felt like that death more so than like a lot of other athlete death that, that we've seen over the years and stuff. But yeah, that's we got heavy. We got heavy. I was like, all right, good, Blues championship. We're on it right now. And then Daryl Kyle. Uh no, I would say besides Rory, and that was just like, oh, my eyes are just getting a little like, oh, I'm happy for him. And I wasn't outright crying. I did sort of outright cry when the Giants beat the Patriots 2008. That
Okay.
Super Bowl 42. Super Bowl 42 after the final whistle. I did actually cry. I was a freshman in high school for that one.
Yeah.
That
No.
and that yeah, that was I've always said that I'm 32 right now, right? I'd like to live a lot longer, and presumably there will be a lot of good sports moments that happen in the next 50, 60 years. There will be nothing that will ever top that for me. Like that was the peak of just my existence as a sports fan, was to experience that victory. And that's it. And like I'm okay with that. I'm not expecting anything better than that. There will never be anything better than
Yeah.
that for me. So that might be, I don't know if I will actually cry again from sports the way that I did from that, like with anything else. I don't know. I don't see it. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's good, and there's just some of those moments are more powerful than others, and I don't know as if anybody can explain why some are more powerful than others. Obviously, that giant championship meant a lot to you. You know, you probably lived and died with every play. Maybe, I mean, you're obviously now you're not because the Giants are a different franchise now, but like when you do live and die by every play, every game, yeah, it means more. I wonder, and as I get older, like I'm not able to live and die every play of my teams as much. I'm wondering if, like, you're right. Like, will I ever get that emotional again over a team or a sport? I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see as the years progress.
Is it age? Is it just our relationship with sports has changed? I think that it's maybe a combination of both. Because I mean, like, there are older people who like do live and die with their teams, like old baseball fans who have been watching their team for 60 years. They will still, have all of those same emotions. Ask any Cubs fan, right? When they won the World Series in 2016, Cubs fan that suffered through all that time. Like they lived and died with it the entire way. But like, yeah, it was, I think the relationship that we have with sports changes a little bit, right? Like, doesn't it feel a little different than it did like when we were in college? And maybe that's because, we were working in radio. We were working in like the sports betting industry. It became part of our career. Like it just, and maybe it sort of took away a little bit from just the raw emotion of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting to see the progression of lives and the emotions of sports. That'd be interesting to follow.
All right. This is by far and away the most emotional, serious edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. It's not at all what I intended the conversation to go to. I have to bring us back. By the way, do we have any grotesque swearing in the comment section yet? If not, feel free to send it.
No, we have no swearing in the comment section. No, we do not. I'm waiting for our first swear to come out of the comment section. 86 of you listening live. No swear words have come out yet.
That would have been hilarious if, like, as we're having this conversation, if there was a comment came in and you would have just dropped it on the screen of just the most horrific insults. Like that would have been comedically perfect. All right. I'm ready to make another declaration.
All right.
I'm over the play-in tournament. I don't want it around anymore. I gave it a chance. Keep in mind, my Lakers have been in the play-in tournament for most of its existence. I don't want it around anymore. I think that it is incredibly cheap. I hate the basketball that is happening because all of the basketball are involving teams that are not worthy of being playoff teams. Like, we were watching Heat Bulls earlier today. Anyone that watched the Heat and the Bulls, like, neither of those teams deserve the opportunity to make the playoffs.
No.
The Heat ended up winning by 20. They were 37 and 45. Like, your season should be over. Your season should be done. Like, that's it.
Yeah, if you can't finish 500, you got to go.
Right. And like yesterday, I know it's like, okay, 7 and 8 seeds, and like if you insist on doing a game for a game's sake, have the 7 versus the 8 seed play each other one game, and the winner gets the 7 seed, the loser gets the 8 seed, and then just be done with it. I don't want these 9 seed and 10 seeds in. Like, not if they're gonna have losing records, not if they're just gonna be like total disgraces. Enough of it. It's off. And maybe it's just because I get the opportunity to watch LeBron James and Luka Doncic. So like I'm used to watching that basketball. So then when I have to watch the Chicago Bulls play basketball in an elimination game at home where they get absolutely freaking murdered by a Miami Heat team that finished almost 10 games below 500, I'm like, this is a really good day for the people who talk shit on the NBA. Like, I get it after watching that type of game. So I don't want to play in tournament anymore. Enough. I'm done with it. Your thoughts?
And now we get thrilling Mavericks at Kings to top it off. With the the winner of Mavericks Kings will get the Grizzlies in Memphis. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just put the Warriors and the Grizzlies in. Just put the Magic belong, the Magic and Hawks in, and let's be done with it. Yeah, I mean, Miami. Does Miami even want to? Do they even want to go to? Do they want to go to Cleveland for a first round series? I mean, Eric
Well,
Spoelstra probably does, and that's about it.
right. Like that's the thing. It's like, okay, you're putting all this effort out there just for the opportunity to get your ass stomped by the Cavaliers, right?
Yeah.
Is
Or
that
Oklahoma
going to be
City on
more
the other side.
right? Is that going to be more valuable for you as a franchise than having 2% lottery odds for Cooper Flag or
Yeah.
like Victor Wembanyama last year, right? Or a couple years ago? I don't know. If the NBA was like the NHL, where there were teams that missed the playoffs that were a point away, that you could theoretically say like, oh yeah, I could see that team actually fighting and competing in the playoffs. I could see it, but the NBA just doesn't have that amount of teams. Like, I think it's pretty obvious, and it's been for a while, that the NBA does not have 20 teams that are playoff worthy. And that's what the play-in tournament is doing. And hell, like 16 is even putting it out of stretch. There were a lot of years where the Eastern Conference would have 5 teams with a winning record.
Right.
Like,
Right. Because I mean, you look at this year, like Atlanta probably doesn't actually belong. You look at the West. I mean, yes. I mean, I would argue this year probably Atlanta is probably the one team that really doesn't look like they belong. Because I think Orlando would belong this year. But your point was that several years we've had teams that there wouldn't be 16. This year's probably 15. But yeah, I can remember years where it was like, yeah, let's just do 12. 6 from each side, or 7 and 5, because the bottom 2 in each side just aren't playoff worthy. So yeah, no, I'm okay with it. I mean, the NBA is not going to get rid of it. If anything, they're going to add more, right? Like they love these nights.
Yeah.
They get two games for 2 nights in a row, and then they get what are those other games on Friday? Yeah, or there's one tomorrow. No, there's one tomorrow, right? One Thursday, one Friday.
Maybe they want, yeah.
No,
So they have.
Friday.
Oh, they're both Friday. Okay, but they have 3 weeknights that are just dedicated to these big games with stakes. Like, for the NBA's perspective, it's great. It's awesome. Yeah. But I think a lot of fans who still appreciate quality basketball, it's hard for them to be excited about this type of thing. Yeah. Like, I think a lot of times these leagues think that fans just want more. And maybe that's the case for football, just because football has figured out the formula, and it's just more and more and more at all times. Give us all the football all the time. But like for basketball, for some other sports, more doesn't necessarily mean better. A lot of times it means worse. And I would take less basketball if it meant higher quality basketball.
No, I'm with you.
At least from the NBA side.
Yeah, I mean, these weeknight games are not must watch for me. They're not. When the playoffs start, yeah, I would like to see the Saturday, Sunday games if I'm around. Those are games I want to see. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday games, just let me know who's in. Let me know who's in.
Yeah. That said, I am excited for the actual NBA playoffs, the real playoffs, not the play-in tournaments. We're done with the play-in tournament. But as far as the playoffs themselves, so we know for sure. So let's see. I'm trying to think. So the only ones that we don't know are the 1 versus 8, which will be determined. But we know. All right. So I'll give you the rundown real quick. So Saturday, we start with Bucks Pacers. Then we get Clippers Nuggets. That's going to be a very interesting one. We have Pistons Knicks. We have Timberwolves Lakers. Then Sunday, the ones that we know for sure is Magic Celtics and Warriors Rockets. And then we're waiting to see who plays the Thunder. And then we're waiting to see whether it's the Heat or the Hawks who faces the Cavaliers. Shouldn't matter too much who's facing the 1 seed. But
go
ahead.
I think Memphis will be pesky to Oklahoma City. I don't think that Atlanta or Miami will be any type of pesky to Cleveland. I don't think there's any chance there. I do think Memphis can be pesky to Oklahoma City. I think Memphis is better than maybe they've played. Their end of their standings have been. They're not bad. They're not bad. obviously they went through some things. They got, they lost their left their coach in
They
the
didn't
dust.
lose their coach. They didn't lose their coach. They purposely banished their coach for some reason.
The same thing with Denver. Like two playoff teams in the West, both have interim coaches. Like, okay, what's going on here? But yeah, so okay, go ahead. Go. That's the schedule. Orlando, Boston, Golden State, Houston on Sunday, and then those other 2 1 seeds will be in the middle there somewhere on Sunday.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw out a couple different playoff questions, and maybe on Friday, once we have some more time to digest, we could give our official predictions. But I just want to throw a couple questions out there for you. So right now, I don't know what the odds are. I'm assuming that OKC is for sure the favorite to win the Western Conference. I would assume
they are. Yes, they are. They are listed at plus 180. Boston's listed at plus 185.
So I'm talking about the West, though. I'm just talking about the West.
Yeah. To win the West, Oklahoma City is minus 150. The Lakers are plus 600.
Okay. So OKC is a massive favorite to come out of the Western Conference. If I gave you, forget the odds for a second, if I gave you the opportunity, you could take the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the Western Conference, or just take the field, whether it's the Lakers, the Clippers, Warriors, Nuggets, whoever. As of right now, where are you leaning?
I'm taking the field. I'll take seven teams with a handful of them that I think have the ability to beat Oklahoma City 4 times. I will take the field in the West. Just think there's a lot of good teams there, and Oklahoma City, yes, they have been very good, but have they had that playoff experience that needed? Maybe, they did a little bit last year, but I'm going to take the field in this one.
Yeah, so the playoff experience argument is very valid. We saw it last year. OKC was the 1 seed. They didn't make the conference finals. They lost to the Minnesota team that was also young, but did have some veterans that had playoff experience. Maybe having that loss last year has helped them going into this year. It's obviously the Thunder this year versus last year. They're a better team this year. I'd say OKC's definitely deserves to be the favorite. They're going to be a favorite in every single series. But there are a lot of really good teams in the Western Conference. It's not like the East, right? Like the East, we said a few weeks ago, and we've continued to say it. Like the East, for me, there's 2 teams, and that's it. Yeah. I'm not. With all due respect to the Knicks, not to win 3 series out there. But correct. Like the West, it's like, okay, obviously everyone's look at the Lakers right now. They have 2 superstars. Denver still is the best player in the world. The Clippers are playing. Maybe the Clippers might be playing better basketball over the last 2 or 3 weeks than any other team in the NBA right now. Timberwolves are your reigning conference finalists with one of the top, maybe 5 players in the NBA in their own right. Like, and then you have the Warriors who have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, who are
right.
That's a 7 seed, right? So there are a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong in a 7-game series for OKC. And it's going to be, and whoever they get matched up with in second round, third round, like it's going to be a team that has experience and that has at least one absolute superstar that can go toe to toe with SGA. So yeah, I'm probably with you, man. I think I lean the field here. I'd love to know though, like how the bracket's all going to line up, and maybe I'll change my mind sort of as the playoffs get going once we see the teams in action. But my gut tells me that it might not be the Thunder that make it through the West. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on. Right now, based on what we know of the bracket, what do you think is going to be the biggest first round upset?
Yeah, to me, I this one is easy for me. I'm taking Golden State over Houston. Just too much experience there in Golden State. Steph Curry's still not done. Houston, I think we've all questioned for all year. Like, are they really the second best team, the second seed in the West? I just look at all the series like Milwaukee or Indianapolis or Indiana. Like, I'm not even sure that's a big upset, no matter what happens there. In fact, I thought the Bucks were the better seed, and here they are, 2 games ahead. Pacers were 2 games ahead, so not really an upset either way there. Clippers Nuggets, like, I'm not sure that's an upset. I'm not sure who wins that series. I thought about Pistons Knicks. I just don't think the Pistons are quite ready to go to New York and win that series. I put your Lakers on a little upset watch because Minnesota's a team I don't think they would love to face. I mean, Anthony Edwards is a bad man. If that series came and Minnesota won, obviously that would be an upset. But I will go Golden State over Houston. The Magic have no chance to beat the Celtics, and the 2 8 seeds have no chance to beat the 1 seeds. I will go Warriors over Rockets, which really a 7 seed over a 2 seed is a big upset. But, like, is it that big of an upset? So I'll go Warriors.
Maybe I misread it. Aren't the Warriors favorites in that series?
Well, probably. I mean, the Warriors are plus 700 to win the West, and the Rockets are plus 2,500 to win the West. So, yeah, I mean, yes, without even looking at necessarily the series prices.
Yeah,
I can look at it now.
I mean, look no further. Game 1 in Houston, the Rockets are only favored by 1.5 points.
Yeah. Golden State is a big favorite in the series. They're minus 194 while Houston's plus 162. So
yeah,
I'm probably wrong on the biggest first round upset as far as betting lines, but a 7 beating a 2 is a pretty big upset.
You know what the series feels like to me? That Rockets Warriors series, it's very reminiscent of, I think it was 2 years ago, where the Lakers were a 7 seed. This was, when they had traded Russell Westbrook midseason, kind of revamped their roster to get D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura. And they faced a young, exciting Memphis Grizzlies team that was a 2 seed. That was sort of their breakthrough moment. Welcome to the playoffs. John Morant's arrived, and the Lakers beat them. They beat them 6 games. It was pretty comfortable, though. Like, that's what this Warriors-Rockets series feels like to me, where this was the Rockets' arrival. It's like, hello, world. Like, Jalen Green, really good player. Şengün, really good player. But here comes Steph Curry. Here comes Jimmy Butler and experience. And, like, playoffs experience matters. Like, there's a reason that Jimmy Butler carried the Heat as far as he did in several playoff runs. It's just experience matters. So, yeah, as much as I want to say the Rockets win that series because I was not overly impressed with Golden State yesterday, I probably agree with you. I'll say this, though. I think the Pistons can give the Knicks a really decent run. And I know you mentioned that you're thinking about that. I think the Pistons are pesky. And I think the Knicks are tired. And the Knicks, we all thought that after they beat Philadelphia in the first round last year, that they were going to waltz to the Eastern Conference Final. They lost to the Indiana Pacers in the second round. Right. So they are on upset alert for me. And I'll throw your Magic out there. I know you said they have no chance. I definitely think Boston wins that series. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if Orlando steals a game and has a couple of very close calls. It was last year, right? That Celtics Pacers Eastern Conference Final, where it was a sweep, but like 3 of the games were amazingly close. And I could see Orlando having that type of series with Boston, where we're looking, and if you're watching the games, you're like, holy shit, are the Magic actually going to pull this off? But then Jason Tatum does his thing, and then the Celtics ultimately end up winning because they have too much firepower. That's the one caveat is I'm taking the Celtics, but like I don't think the Celtics just absolutely destroy them in a 4-game sweep.
Yeah, no, I mean, Orlando's pesky, and they've got our boy Paolo Banchero there. He's been terrific for them. I think it was it was a ton of 30-point games in a row. He's been fantastic. And so, he's going to go off, and Boston's going to miss shots, right? Like, they're going to shoot. They're going to shoot all those threes, and one of the playoff games they're going to miss. And Orlando may sneak up and beat them. But in a whole series, I just don't. And I
No.
know you said this too. I just don't see them beating them 4 times.
Yeah, no, not in a series because it's you're not going to beat the Celtics 4 times, not with that roster. But like the Magic play great defense, they defend well against the 3. I think they're just one of those teams that could frustrate the Celtics, not beat them, frustrate them. That's my caveat. All right, and then last question here to wrap up the playoff talk. Just as a fan, going back to just the days of when we just watch sports just for the love of the game. What do you want to see happen? What in a perfect world, Rodney Newpel gets what NBA Finals matchup?
Yeah, so not so, you know me, I'm not a LeBron hater. So I want LeBron back in the finals. I want to see him have another chance. I want to see him with the Lakers. I want to see Luka and LeBron. I want to see Luka back in the finals. I want to see how those two do it. I want to see first year coach and JJ Redick in the finals. I root for him. So I'll probably take the Lakers, and then obviously the storybook would be let's play Cleveland. LeBron back to Cleveland for a finals. Like, okay, I get that 50% of our country is going to hate that because they've got all these reasons to hate LeBron. But like, I'm trying to think of other matchups. I don't care to see Boston in the finals again. I just don't. Like, they're going to chuck a lot of threes. They're good.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Tatum is really good, but like Jason Tatum's pretty boring. Cleveland's pretty fun to watch. Like, I don't need the Knicks, although the storyline of like Lakers Knicks would be fun going to the Garden. I'm trying to think. Like, I can't even really consider other Eastern Conference teams because I just don't see them having a chance. So, I don't really need an ideal matchup there. So, I mean, yeah, I'll go back to Cleveland and the Lakers, LeBron against the Cavaliers, and we say this, we've said this a lot, and LeBron's maybe his final hurrah of getting to the NBA Finals. So I doubt it. Luka will be there next year, but LeBron's also going to be 41 next year, so who knows? But I'll go Lakers Cavaliers as my NBA ideal matchup.
We've been hanging out too much. I mean, you knew that I was going to go Lakers Cavs. The LeBron facing Cleveland would be the best. I know everyone's like, oh, Lakers Celtics. Lakers Cavaliers would be an infinitely more interesting series. It doesn't. Yeah, it shouldn't be,
I think so.
But it is. Yeah.
No,
thank you for saying that about Boston, by the way, too. We can admit that the Celtics are a great team, but they're not fun to watch.
No, they're not. They're not. They're going to chuck 63s. Okay. I mean, it's winning. I can't argue with their success, but it's not really something I care to watch and want to watch in the finals. So they're kind of boring. And then the Knicks, we've said this all along. I just don't see them winning 3 series. Pacers, Bucks, Pistons. No, I don't see it. So it comes down to but then if it's not the Lakers in the West, let me ask you this one, because you are a Lakers fan. I know you want the Lakers. If it's not the Lakers in the West, who do you want to see in the West?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up too. I think it's like if you don't have a team directly in the playoffs of the Western Conference, I think from an entertainment perspective, the Lakers are the obvious answer for number 1. But besides that, probably OKC. Probably OKC. Like we just saw Denver, but I just don't want to see the Clippers there because it's just gross. T-Wolves would be fun to see Anthony Edwards on that big stage. That would feel like a welcome moment. I don't want to see the Warriors. Rockets, Rockets would just that feels crazy to me to imagine them in that spot. I'd say OKC just because they've been the best team in the West all year. They are good enough to win a championship. And like from a straight basketball perspective, OKC against Cleveland or OKC versus Boston would be a really, really fun, entertaining series. Like I know Boston, I think benefited a lot last year from, they get Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals instead of the Knicks. Then they get Dallas as a 5 seed in the finals. Like I would like if Boston does end up making the finals again, face a 67 win OKC team and like let's see how you could do against them. Like that would be that from a basketball perspective. I know that people are still like OKC ratings blah blah blah, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch how that unfolds.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who outside the Lakers, who I would want to see out of the West. I mean, honestly, it could be like a Minnesota because I
Mhm.
do love Anthony Edwards and his energy and his ability. But Shea playing in the finals would be fun. Anytime Jokic is there, though, like just the wildness of what did he just do?
Mhm.
So a lot of teams out of the West, but I'm still going to side with LeBron and the Lakers. That I would like to see them play Cleveland. That'll be my ideal matchup.
Do you remember when Russell Westbrook first averaged a triple double? How
Yeah,
big a deal it was?
yeah,
And then he did it for like the next 2 or 3 years after that, and people like stopped caring. And I
right,
was like, okay,
right,
well, maybe it's just because Russell Westbrook did it, and it's just whatever, turnover prone. Nikola Jokic did it this year,
yeah,
and no one said a damn thing about it.
yeah. And he's not going to win the MVP award either.
Like, I just want to point that out. The best player in the NBA, who's won 3 MVPs now, right? 3 MVPs. Um, Recent champion. I think he's going to end up being a top 20 player all time when it's all said and done. Just averaged a triple double. That's center. And I don't even think I got a notification about it on my phone. Like there was no story, there was no talk about it. That's insane to me. It's absurd. Did we lose you, Rodney? Did we lose you? That was a very unflattering face if we lost you there. Oh yeah, I think we lost him. That's okay. That's okay. He'll come back. Hold on. Hold on, buddy. We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, this is something. All right. What's going on here?
All right, there we are. I'm back. I've been having Wi-Fi issues for the last couple of days. Like it'll just like randomly shut off on me and then come back. So I'm gonna have to get that figured out. But where were we? We were
I was just giving my Jokic rant. My
yeah.
Jokic rant.
Yeah, he's not gonna
That
win the MVP.
no, he's the best player. He's the best player in the world. He's won 3 MVPs. Just averaged a triple double as a center, and I don't even think I got a notification about it on my cell phone. That's like, oh yeah, by the way, this happened. Like,
Yeah.
are we that jaded now?
Yeah, I mean the dude just balls. He just puts up numbers and for the most part wins. I mean, what they do? They won 50 games. Like that's pretty good, right? Now he got a coach fired apparently.
He's gonna be a top 15 player in the history of the sport. He just averaged a triple double as a 7-footer, and
Yeah.
we're just like, doesn't matter. Insane.
He's impressive. He's impressive.
Yeah.
So it's hard to count them out in the playoffs because of him, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Except, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like the Clippers are playing so well, and Kawhi's healthy, and like Zubac is criminally underrated. Like James Harden is still there. Like people just forget about James Harden, but he's still playing at a very high level. Clippers are really good. Here's my issue though in that series: if Zubac gets 2 fouls going up against Jokic, he gets 2 fouls early. Like the Clippers have nothing else. Like their depth behind Zubac is Ben Simmons. Like that's our backup center. That's not a joke. Like that to me is where it all comes down to. And it's like, okay, well, let's make sure Zubac doesn't get into any foul trouble. Okay, well, good luck, man. Like, how else are you gonna go up against Nikola Jokic in a playoff series?
right.
That's the one hesitation I have with the Clippers.
That's a great point because, like, go ahead, bring Ben Simmons in, but that's a recipe for like he can't guard Jokic or score on Jokic. So good luck with that.
Yeah, that's my hesitation. Now, if the Clippers do end up getting past, I think they can make things interesting if they end up playing OKC in the second round. I think that could be a really, really, really fun series. But all right, let's
on Friday, let's make our official first round picks.
Let's do it. A spoiler alert, don't care what the play-in results are on Friday. We're going to take the 1 seeds. So
Correct.
there you go.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel comfortable enough to make the predictions before we see whether the Heat or the Hawks are in the playoffs.
Right.
All right. Mount Rushmore. It's 57s. 56 was basically just Lawrence Taylor. We just put his giant face on a mountain. 57s. You mentioned one earlier when, in case you missed it at the beginning of the show, things got heavy, things got emotional. And honestly, with the 57s I was looking at earlier, I think Daryl Kyle might actually have a case to be on this Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I mean, he spent 12 years wearing number 57. I'm sure you're looking at the same thing I am. He had a 20.2 WAR in those years, which is like right up there with some of these other dudes. Now, 57 is gonna be a baseball Mount Rushmore. It really just is, because if you look at the other sports, just not a lot there. I'm gonna skip to basketball real quick because I don't know. So Mike Muscala is one of the best 57s that we're going to come up with. And then Hilton Armstrong of the Golden State Warriors. I think we can cut out the NBA on this one. We good with that? No NBA?
Mike Muscala. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I'll defer to you here and agree. Yeah, I would say baseball. So the two top baseball guys, Johan Santana is the first one. In terms of like career WAR and just length of time wearing that jersey, Johan Santana is the best 57 in baseball history. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was one and done on the Hall of Fame ballot too, which in hindsight is insane.
Right. No, it is. It is. I
like how Johan Santana is one and done on the Hall of Fame, but Mike Mussina is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
I do not understand. And then Francisco Rodriguez.
Frankie. Yep.
K-Rod.
Former Los Angeles Angels, Frankie Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, he was 14 years wearing 57. Both those guys are probably on this Mount Rushmore. Johan Santana, Frankie Rodriguez.
Yeah. And then so NFL best ones a little before our time, but Clay Matthews Sr. was 57.
Yeah. Tom Jackson. Tom Jackson
is
one of the best 57s in NFL, linebacker for the Broncos. So if we had to include somebody besides baseball, is it Tom Jackson? Dre Greenlaw was 57 as well.
Dre Greenlaw, Olin Kreutz, longtime center.
Yeah.
57. Since it's also like, I don't know, like Tom Jackson, I think is a good one because of also his post-playing career as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate having Tom Jackson there.
Yeah, I think Tom Jackson and 3 baseball are going to be how this one goes. I'm looking up 57s in hockey. My buddy David Perron wore 57. I don't think he can go on this Mount Rushmore, but if it was a personal Mount Rushmore, yes, I think maybe a 57 would, or David Perron would go up there. Looking throughout hockey, we need hockey guy Dan here tonight. He's probably getting ready for the playoffs, but David Perron is probably the best 57 that wore or best hockey player that wore 57, and that's
I'm looking at it. Unless I'm missing someone very obvious, I have to agree with you. Tyler Myers, defenseman, he's worn it for a while too, but I think David Perron might be the guy there. Like I like David Perron a lot, so I'm okay with that, but I don't know if he quite qualifies for the Mount Rushmore here.
Yeah, I mean, he had over 700 career points. He did win 1 Stanley Cup. Of course, that 2019 team was in the league a long time. So
we're talking about him. We're talking about him as if he's like been retired for a decade. He was a senator this year.
Yeah. I mean,
still playing.
Yeah, at this point in his career, he's fairly quiet. But yeah, if he's still playing, he's still playing. So I mean, he's going to have a case. I mean, and honestly, if it comes down to him or Daryl Kyle, it's probably David Perron in the grand scheme of stats and things like that. But I don't know. Like we don't put a lot of hockey players on the Mount Rushmore.
No, and I don't know if David Perron is. I think Daryl Kyle as a tribute to
right?
is a good one there. Because he was good, like he was a good enough player.
Yeah.
Like a good enough player, plus his playing career getting cut short. I say we go Johan Santana, K-Rod, Tom Jackson, and then we wrap things up. Tribute to Daryl Kyle.
Yeah. So a couple others that I was looking at here just to kind of throw some names out. John Smiley was 57 and has a pretty similar career to Daryl Kyle. John Smiley was with Pirates and Twins, and I think even Reds there for a while. Some other names that Shane Bieber currently wears 57.
Yeah.
So 15 years down the road, or are we looking at Shane Bieber in this? Maybe I don't know. John Wetland did for a few years. I don't think he did his whole career, but he was 57 for the Dodgers and Expos. But that's kind of looking at the list there. So average, middle of the road is 57. You know, we've had some. 56 wasn't real strong. Of course, it's not 23, 32, 33, but 57 is not bad.
I'm trying to think of what the next number, like what's the next strong number that we're going to have here, because we're going to get to the 60s.
Yeah.
The NFL is going to be nothing but just beefy offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Not going to be a ton of baseball guys, maybe some relievers that'll be in the 60s.
I mean,
we have any.
We're probably in trouble with this segment looking at the next several months, right? Like we probably at some point are going to have to phase this out, right? Like,
listen,
the best 83s in all of sports, right? Like,
well, no, I think once we get to the 80s, we're going to be rolling, because that's going to be wide receivers. Like we're going to be great once we get to the 80s. And 90s, you're going to have a bunch of hockey guys. Like we'll be fine. But perhaps like in the 60s, if it starts to get tough, we stop looking at it as a Mount Rushmore, and instead we do like what we did for Lawrence Taylor a little bit, where we just put one face on that mountain, or we have just one plaque on the way to the other Mount Rushmores, like the honorable mention plaques that are just like, oh, by the way, here's the 64 plaque on the way to look at all of the great 84s, because there are so many more 84s worth talking about.
No, I like that. I like that idea, because 60s are going to be a struggle. You're right. 70s, 80s, 90s, we'll start getting a few. We'll start getting a bunch of good names. So I'm good with that plan.
We also like started this in the 20s. We just decided to. So we missed all of the single digit ones, there were all the quarterbacks, right? We could have had quarterbacks on here. Like we didn't have those at all.
So we could come back to it at 101. You know, we get to 101 and go, and we could do the best ones all the way up to where we started. It's not a terrible idea. We've had worse ideas, but that was because of the sensational, the very popular Barry Bonds stat of the day took that place, right? So, I mean, it's just hard to provide the people with Barry Bonds stat of the days and Mount Rushmore. So we had to pick and choose.
Yeah. By the way, so speaking of Barry Bonds, this isn't a stat per se, but it's a story that I just heard. I know that we're coming up on time here, but AJ Pierzynski was on some podcast that he does, and he was a teammate of Barry Bonds with the Giants way back when. And he told the story about when Barry Bonds was approaching Willie Mays' career home run mark at 660. Barry had hit 659, and they were on the road, and they still had another 5 days until they returned home to San Francisco. And I guess Barry had told some guys, JT Snow, whoever else in the clubhouse, I'm not going to hit a home run on the road. I'm going to wait until we are back home to do it. So for the next 5 games, he is just launching these missiles that are not homers, but he's just getting hits. Like he is actively keeping himself from hitting home runs, but still getting hits and driving it all over the field. And then finally, when they return home to San Francisco, first game back, he hit 660. The next day, he hit 661. Like Barry Bonds chose in Major League Baseball. He's like, you know what? I'm going to decide today to hit a home run, but he still gets a bunch of hits. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to hit home runs again. It's almost like he went to the menu, turned the sliders all the way up to full power. And then he's like, all right, home run time. And then he just hit a home run. Like there is no one in the history of baseball that can do that.
Right. Just pick and choose. That would be nice. I don't feel like home run today. I'm going to take the road trip off on hitting home runs, but I'm going to bat 480 this year, the rest of the road trip. So it was the first game. Was it his first at bat back home? I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the first at bat back home, but the way that Pierzynski told the story, it was like right when they got back to San Francisco. It's like, all right, the road trip's done. They're back home, and then he just hit the home run.
Bang.
Like,
yeah.
It's just that is so stupid. And like there are a couple guys in the history of baseball that seemingly had the ability to sort of control that type of thing. Not necessarily to that extent, but like I know a lot of people who play with Ichiro would talk about how in batting practice he would just hit these nukes that would just go out of the ballpark. And they're like, if Ichiro wanted to, he would hit 30, 40 home runs.
Right.
Like many of his teammates have said that, but he chose not to. He just chose to hit 360 and just hit opposite field singles and shallow bloops and build a Hall of Fame career that way. But it's amazing that there are certain guys that can just go up there in the hardest sport to master baseball and just like perfectly execute exactly what they want to do and just say, all right, I'm going to get these types of hits and then just do them.
Just do them. Yeah. That's crazy.
Like,
that's a cool story from AJ. That's awesome. But that's what happened. Barry Bonds stat of the day, and we're still here, episode 57, talking Barry Bonds.
Well, you want to do Shohei Ohtani stat of the days, and I had to nix that. I do not want to give airtime to those stats. We get it. No. He's so good.
All good.
He's so good.
So though this is the Mount Rushmores have been more fun anyway.
I think so, man. And I like going through and just be like, oh yeah, that's a name. Like I remember that name.
Yeah. It does. It reminds you of blast from the past from guys. Oh, I like it. It's good.
Yeah, like men our age, we just will sit around and just name athletes from our youth, and just do that. No other comments. Just say the names, and like that's it. That's my entertainment for the evening, and I'm good with that. All right, let's get out of here. We're going to be back Friday morning, 8 a.m. We'll have our official NBA predictions for the postseason. We'll talk some other stuff. Stanley Cup playoffs coming up, man. Congratulations. The St. Louis Blues. They got, is it Winnipeg?
Yeah, they got to go to Winnipeg. So actually, that's another thing we need to do as well. We'll make our first round NHL playoff picks as well because that gets started on Saturday. So yes, the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Blues did make it. Dan, hockey guy Dan, his Wild made it. They will go to Vegas. So we can break that down. Friday will be a playoff discussion day.
Playoff show.
NBA.
Yeah, we didn't really give the NHL too much love today, but man, that first round, there are a handful of great matchups.
Yeah.
Like so many storylines in that first round. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. So, I believe it all gets started on Saturday. There are still a handful of games tomorrow to wrap up the regular season. I don't think any of them matter, though. Because Montreal, So as far as who's in, the 16 teams are in. Maybe a spot or two could be jostled. I'm actually looking. Yes. So like the Devils and Canadians, well, actually, they're both done. They tied for 9. So I don't know as if any of the puck matters tomorrow, but there are a handful of games. I know that's a great ringing endorsement to watch hockey tomorrow. There's a handful of games and none of them matter. But there we are. So.
And of course, the NBA is not having a game. So like hockey has this full night to themselves finally, right? To just really own the sports landscape. And they're going to do it with games that don't matter at all.
Yeah. So. 7, by the way, 7 games tomorrow that not a single one of them matters. And not, I mean, it's not hockey's fault. I mean, they've got their 16 teams in and all that. But yes, the final night and none of them matter. And sorry, Calgary Flames, you can tie the Blues at 96 points, but you can't make the playoffs. Sorry about that.
Oof. See you, Flames.
Yeah,
See you, Flames.
I mean,
telling you, man. It was that loss to my Anaheim Ducks. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, because that wins in regulation is the tiebreaker, right? The Blues have 44 and Calgary has 40. So even if they tie them tomorrow, the Blues would have 3 more regulation wins. Calgary had 14 overtime losses. Sorry about your luck, Calgary.
Ugh.
14 of them.
Flames. Yeah, that's That's horrible. That is a horrible stat for them, for Flames fans.
That's not great.
No.
Anyways.
All right. Anyways, a couple things to wrap up as we get on out of here. Rodney's continuing to push out winners on Substack, so make sure to give that a follow. He sends daily picks to your email every single afternoon. He is up big on the year, so make sure to sign up for the Stupid Sports Show Substack. Follow us on Twitter. Probably, chances are, if you're watching us tonight, it's there. Just give us a follow at Stupid Sports Show. And any of the 57 episodes of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth are all available wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, iHeart. Go give us a listen, subscribe, rate, review, leave us a comment, give us a rating, unsubscribe, then resubscribe. We want all of it. We want to pump those numbers. We want to defeat Pat McAfee. Guess what? Rodney? Do you know what next week is?
Next week is, I don't know what next week is.
Draft week.
Oh, Lordy. Already?
Draft week.
A week from tomorrow?
Yeah, week from tomorrow.
Wow.
The draft.
Okay, so next Tuesday's show has to be draft talk.
Draft.
I feel like we need it. That might mean like we need two. Like we need a Tuesday and Wednesday night show. But we got to do Friday morning.
Draft.
We got to do Friday morning to break down what happened Thursday. I don't know. We'll have to do some planning, but like, I feel like just one show on Tuesday may not cut it. I don't know. Well, we'll brainstorm.
Maybe.
We'll brainstorm.
Yeah.
We'll
maybe
get
it's
our
one of
production
those.
meeting.
Maybe it's one of those spaces things where you pop in on a Wednesday, or I hop on solo to give my top. You know what? I will make a promise next week before the draft. I will bring back an old radio segment of mine, a Tim's Top 10. I will give you the first 10 picks of the NFL draft, exactly how they will play out from my lips. Put it out there into the universe. There you go.
Right.
How's that for a teaser?
That sounds good. That sounds good. But I didn't even realize it was next Thursday already. So I'm glad you're excited.
In Green Bay, you going to go?
Yes. I'm not.
Take a road trip? No.
I'm not going. No.
Yeah. That's all right. That's fair. All right. For Rodney Newpel, this is Tim, the Deutschland Dangler Van Stratton, signing off. We'll talk to you again Friday morning for another episode of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys. Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton.